Police tell me as of right now they can't confirm if all of these armed robberies are related, but they say that the suspect in 3 of them has a very similar description. That's when one of the men in the Pontiacs decided to jump out of the car just in case the red Dodge circled around again, and when he did, shots were fired for the second time. TxDOT tells me the rain that came before the snow started to set in has really made it tough on the roads tonight for drivers. Fans are just now being let into the stadium. Well, we're standing right here in front of the Hardball Cafe. Now, if you guys remember, this used to be the Sonic Cafe. Today, Congressman Mac Thornberry spoke about a defense bill during a ceremony to honor the men and women of the military who died while in the line of duty. No one knows who the artist is or what the message is even trying to convey, but everyone down Polk Street is willing to take a few guesses. New tonight, the University of Texas at El Paso has won a $4.9 million grant to lead a study of how to do more with less water. Now that spring is here, Palo Duro Canyon is getting lots of visitors from all over the world, but an ongoing bridge construction project inside the canyon continues to slow things down on the road. And you've done a segment here in Amarillo. You've been back. So what's your experience like when you come back here? Watch this. On the right side of this dash cam video, that's 21-year-old Robert Johnson riding his bike. He's stopped by 2 Amarillo police officers who were responding to a separate call in the area. A witness tells ABC 7 News that he watched as police forcefully threw Johnson from his bike to the ground. He says Johnson was screaming for help. Then, as you can see, what appears to be 2 more officers join in the scuffle. That's when eyewitness Herman Moore says a beating took place. The same incident that brings Moore to tears.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
The incident happened on March 28th, and Moore says he just can't seem to get it out of his head. 4
officers pounced on him and started hitting him. And he was yelling, ow. What did I do?
Now the situation has sparked one Amarillo attorney to take action.
He rode his bicycle down the street. That's it. Y'all can read the reports. It's like he rode his bicycle down the street, and then they pointed out in the report his bicycle did not have a headlight on it, and I guess that's what gets you beaten here.
In the police report, Officer Brian Hughes stated when he asked Johnson to get off his bike, Johnson refused. But according to Johnson, he says he still doesn't know what he did wrong.
Hitting my knee and threw me on the ground, tear my shirt up.
APD released a statement Thursday afternoon saying the department takes these allegations seriously and that it would be conducting an investigation. As far as family and friends of Johnson, they say they want to see change within the department.
Just would like it to stop.
We had just gotten up from nap time.
8 children and an infant just yards away from where police say 3 shots were fired.
I was scared, and our kids, the kids that I was taking care of, they got really scared too. And then whenever they heard the sirens, they were asking me what was going on, and I didn't know how to explain it because I didn't know what was going on.
Not many of us knew exactly what was going on until today. Police are able to paint a somewhat clear picture. Corporal Jerry Newfield with APD says a heated exchange over some property between a husband and wife started on Lewis Lane. The husband tried to leave with the items, but 35-year-old Andrea Hadaway wasn't going to let him without a fight.
She comes around and literally climbs in the driver's side window, and he's trying to drive off, and she's kind of hanging on. And
at some point, she's ejected from the vehicle. That's when police say 2 men in a white Pontiac followed the husband in his red Dodge pickup. Then things got violent. The first shots were fired here at 34th and Patterson. Not 1, but 2, but 3 different shots. That's when one of the men in the Pontiacs decided to jump out of the car just in case the red Dodge circled around again. And when he did, shots were fired for the second time. This time at 35th and Virginia. And at some point between Patterson and Virginia, the husband was shot at least twice.
so he's obviously somewhere literally in the middle of the road shooting at this guy as he's coming, turning the corner. The guy probably panics a little bit. I got somebody shooting at me. What do I got to do? He's right here in front of me. He does hit him, and then he just continues on and literally just kind of runs in through the back bedroom of the house.
Neighbors directly across the street from 3414 Virginia say they heard gunshots and windows in their house rattle, something they never expected to happen here.
My kids are out here playing about that time of day. Luckily they weren't out, but I'm just worried about somebody driving, been shot and should have probably pulled over to get some help. He could have passed out and, hurt somebody innocent.
Right in front of the plate.
From a new team
Hope you have a good time.
to a new name
Catch a foul ball for me, okay?
I'll try.
and even a whole new menu.
Here you go, sir. And the mustard's right here.
In Amarillo, it's time to play ball.
Welcome to Thunderhead Stadium and tonight's 2015 home opening ball game for the Amarillo Thunderheads.
But just a few days ago, because of recent rainfall, even new general manager Stephanie Tucker says she didn't think we'd see a first pitch so sweet.
I'm not going to lie that there hasn't been some sweat and some tears and some screaming and some yelling, but it's all coming together, and I hope everybody's a little patient on the opening night.
But it seems the players are done being patient. They just want to hit the diamond. And as for the fans, lined up even before gates opened, looking for that new beginning in Amarillo baseball.
I love baseball. I've been going to ball games in this ballpark since I was 8 years old. And so I've seen a lot of games, have a lot of wonderful memories. So this is kind of nostalgic. And what could be better to do on a near summer evening than sit out in Amarillo, Texas and watch a baseball game? So
you never think it's going to happen. It just almost seems impossible.
What we'd lost and how in the world was we going to start all over.
Most of the people are still in a state of numbness.
One that isn't so easily forgotten. Nearly a year after the Fritch fire and people like James Campsey, who lost everything, still rebuilding, not just what the fire took from them, but time spent rebuilding a life in the town of Fritch, Texas.
How in the world was we going to start all over and all is, it was real downheartening. And Clayton told me, Dad, I'm not leaving Fritch. He said, I'm not leaving my school. Says when they get the lot cleaned off, we can live in a tent down there.
Clayton is James's 15-year-old son, visually impaired and diagnosed with cerebral palsy. James and his wife took him in when he was just a baby.
It would have been easy to walk away from it. But after he said that, there was no way.
8.5 years ago, James's wife passed away, leaving him to raise Clayton. But in more ways than one, James says God knew one day he'd need someone. And the Fritch fire is an example of just how much he'd need Clayton.
That we've enjoyed, rebuilding and still got a long way to go. And I've been married twice. I raised 3 boys. And Clayton is the greatest thing that ever happened in my life.
And only a few streets over, Don Blythe looks at what he has now, remembers what he once had, and how blessed he still is.
Of course, the unknown after it happens, you don't know what to do. And then when you decide what to do, it's a long, hard battle getting back, I know there's a lot of people go through worse stuff than this, that lose part of their family or something. Nobody lost their life down here, so that's a good thing.
A lot remains unknown about the Fritch fire. Residents reminded of that day every time they step outside, turn a street corner, or look across the lot at a for sale sign that never used to be there. And the fear that it can happen again will always remain.
It's in the back of my mind, you can't keep from thinking about it now.